Hey everyone, this morning I wanted to come to you and talk about building resilience. And building resilience is a really interesting topic because in our lives we all get buffeted by events that happen, circumstances that happen to us, different things that are going on in the world that we have absolutely no control over. And sometimes that can get really overwhelming and it can feel like it's too much and you don't know what to do and you don't know where to go and you don't know who to turn to. So when I was in high school, when I did year 12, I did 3-unit textiles and design, basically sewing. And I learned one of the things I learned in that class was the definition of resilience because they were talking about it in relation to the wool fiber. And they talk about resilience as the ability to bounce back. So that's really important because resilience doesn't mean that it's going to insulate you from anything that happens. It just means that you are going to have the resources that you need, the internal psychological resources that you need to bounce back. So one of the things around building your resilience is understanding your mindset at any point in time. Different people have different mindsets, and this can either support them from being to be more resilient or it can stop them from becoming resilient. So have a little think about your mindset in relation to resilience. What are you like when you have to bounce back from something? When life feeds you something that you don't want? When a circumstance happens, when there's a trauma in your life, when there's a tragedy in your life, what happens? Are you totally overtaken by that and you can't move and you can't do anything? Or are you able to see it for what it is, as an external circumstance that you have no control over, and harness your inner resources to try and navigate and work within that? I'm not suggesting for a second that you're not going to have big feelings of grief and anger and loss in those situations. Every human will. But the difference is, how long is that going to last? Is that going to pervade your life for the next 2 years to the point where you can't move and you can't function and you can't do anything? Or are you going to be able to find a way through? Resilience is all about bouncing back and finding a way through. So, I just want you to think about your own life for a minute. What's going on for you? For many people, we've just come out of lockdown in COVID. We have needed to exercise our resilience. Many of us thought we didn't have enough resilience during lockdown, and we are coming out the other side of it. It's a bit of a test for humanity across the globe. How resilient are we as humans in the wake of a pandemic? How resilient are we as humans to brace ourselves for whatever the next challenge is that is thrown humanity's way? So I'd encourage you today just to think about yourself and your own mindset and what you can do to become more resilient. The way that you can become more resilient is to make sure that you have enough psychological tools in your toolkit to know what to do when something happens. When the drama happens, when the trauma happens, how do you choose to respond? If you have enough psychological tools in your toolkit, you will be able to be very, very resilient. If you're interested in this conversation on resilience and other kinds of mindset tips, then you'll love the Being More Human book. So I've dropped the link in for you here. You can go straight to our website and order the Being More Human book, all about mindset mastery. So we'd love to see you inside, and I think you're going to really enjoy the book. Cheers.